Good afternoon, everyone. If you haven't heard of the Australian Progressive Party before, don't be surprised, not too many have. We've been around federally since 2015, and we were explicitly set up as a rejection of the policies and politics of Tony Abbott, who was Prime Minister at the time. So that should give you a good idea of where our politics sits. So I'd like to welcome all of you gathered here today. My name is Edward Carroll. I'm the Vice President of Australian Progressives and the State President of Queensland Progressives as we move towards registration for the state election next year. I would like to start by acknowledging the elders of the Yagra and Turrbal people on whose unceded lands we are gathered on today. I would also like to acknowledge the shared experiences of oppression and dispossession that all Indigenous people around the world face, and that the kinship and solidarity between all of those who suffer under occupation. I am a settler here. Both my grandparents emigrated. One came from Hungary after they survived the Holocaust, and the other came from Britain. So I can only stand here today amongst you as an ally. There is an important part in allyship, and that we should learn to stand out of the way of those with lived experience. So I won't take up too much of your time. I stand here before you as a proud Jewish Australian. And I am deeply ashamed of both my country and my kin. I am ashamed of this Labor government, so pathetically acquiescent to its United States masters. It could not even show the courage to vote in support of ending the bloodshed in Palestine. I am ashamed of my Jewish brothers and sisters that have fallen for the falsehoods of Zionism. And even in the face of 5,000 children murdered at the hands of Zionists, they refuse to turn away from supporting the likes of Benjamin Netanyahu. To some Jews, it can be hard to accept that the state of Israel is an apartheid state, that as an occupying force, Israel is in the wrong. But the evidence is clear. And if you look in your hearts, it is true. The hate that has poisoned so many Israelis to the point where they do not see Palestinians even as human. And the roots of Zionism has its base in anti-Semitism. I stand here today looking at Israel bombing hospitals, refugee camps, explicitly committing war crimes, and collective punishment and ethnic cleansing. And I wonder what my grandparents would have thought. They survived the Holocaust in Hungary, survived the most monstrous acts against our people, and now we have become the very monsters that they fled. Let me be as clear as I can possibly be. Benjamin Netanyahu is a fascist. As long as he leads the government of Israel, Israel is an apartheid state and is a fascist state. For Australia to stand here and supply military arms to Israel, to supply military intelligence to Israel through the Pine Gap facility, and to refuse to call back our ambassador from Israel and to kick out the Israeli ambassador is a betrayal. Calls for a humanitarian pause are not enough. A pause implies that at some arbitrary point, currently in 2 days, Israel is free to return to killing Palestinian children and razing Gaza to the ground. It gives a legitimacy to the ethnic cleansing that is currently happening. Israel has no intention of stopping its actions. It does not seek the end of Hamas, because if that was true, we wouldn't be seeing the violence in the West Bank, where there is no Hamas. I call on Australia and all governments across the world to push for a full ceasefire and a full withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. It is clear that Israel has no intention of giving peace or quarter to the people of Gaza. And so I call on all Australians and all governments around the world to turn to the United Nations and invoke the responsibility to protect protocols that were set up in 2005 to prevent exactly this situation happening. The United Nations must act. It does not matter how many resolutions they put forward if the violence continues. The people of Gaza need protection. Yes. And neither Hamas nor Israel would dare interfere from a United Nations peacekeeping force that went boots on the ground to stop the violence and to end the bloodshed. This is what I believe has to happen. Let me conclude today by sharing the words of the ancient Jewish scholar, Hillel the Elder. I have them tattooed on my arm as a permanent reminder of their words. If not now, then when? When will we stand against apartheid? When will we stand against genocide? If not now, then when? Thank you.